another NSCDC official at another part of the town. Meanwhile, several members of the proscribed IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, have also been killed by security operatives. One of them is said to be the leader of the group in the southeast. And today in Enugu, the governors of the southeast region have converged on the state capital. And their meeting at the government house, their meeting is anchored on the rising insecurity in the region. The latest, which is the attack on the resident of Imo State Governor, Orjiuzo. The governor's resolutions was read by the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum and the governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umai. Take a listen to him.
Southeast governors and leaders reinstated the adoption of a common joint security outfit called Ebubago, with our regional headquarters here in Enugu State, and of course capital of the state. Ebubago will work with police and other security agencies in our operations to protect lives and properties in Southeast. We agreed on the structure and operational modalities of Ebubago, and we also agreed to set up advisory board for Ebubago security outfits. We mandated our Honorable Attorney Generals and Commissioner for Justice of the Southeast States to work with the Joint Security Committee to come up with the amendment of the existing state laws to reflect the new Ebubago outfits, because people have been asking about laws. We have laws. Now amendment is to reflect our corporations and the joint nature of the Ebubago outfits.
Meanwhile, the Imo State government says it has launched an investigation into the attack on the governor's country home in Omuma. Meanwhile, IPOB has released a statement reacting to the arrest and death of one of theirs. We caught up with the spokesperson of the group, Emma Powerful. And here is the telephone interview with him. What can you tell us about what happened yesterday, the arrest and the death of a leader of IPOB?
They lied to the public that they enter our camp. Nigerian army can never in their life enter ESN camp. That is a promise. The guy went to his village. They ambushed him there. That was all.
Why did you say they can never enter your camp?
They cannot, because they don't have the wherewithal to enter there. They don't have the power.
Do you mean that you have the firepower?
God is on our side, and God is protecting us.
So what happened? How did he lose the member, and how many of your people have been arrested?
They have arrested more than, since in Imo State, they arrested more than 50 people in the zone there. In Oguta, Ohaji, Ebema, LUGA. They have been arresting people, going to their houses and they arrest them. In Anambra, they arrested so many people. In Abia, they arrested so many people. And yesterday on, our commander went to his village. He's from our mama. They ambushed him with some politicians, Orjiuzo and the coup. They ambushed him, ordered the military to kill him. That was what happened.
You sent a tacit threat to the governor of Imo State. What do you mean by that threat?
He knows Imo State administrator, Supreme Court administrator, knows very well that he committed a crime and we must follow him up.
What crime did he commit?
He ordered for the killing of this guy because he refused his offer.
What offer is that?
To come and hear the Ebubago, which the Southeast governors established.
When did he offer him? Did he speak to him on the phone? Did he have a meeting with him?
He sent some people to meet him.
And what happened? He refused, or what
the guy refused, that he cannot betray Biafra's agitation and the ESN and our leader, Mazen Nandekano. Since then, they have been threatening him.
And so, when you now send this threat, what do you plan to do?
He don't ask me what my plans. We have plans, and we must execute it. That's all.
I'm very sure you are aware that the federal government has proscribed your organization. So,
why are they running from their courts to come and defend it? That is a black market prescription.
You are not worried that you are described as terrorists?
We are not terrorists. You know that.
No, that's what the federal government calls you.
Journalist, you know that IPOB is not a terrorist.
But that's what the federal government calls you.
They call because they don't want to defend it. They don't want us to defend the matter in the court. Every day, any court date, they run away. Don't you know that?
So what are you planning to do now?
We are planning to get Biafra.
When are you planning to do that?
God knows the time.
Okay, so let me, because residents of Omuma, when we interviewed them yesterday, they said that the people that attacked the governor's house are members of ESN. What do you have to say to that?
Anybody can say whatever he or she likes. It doesn't concern us.
So, and that's the reason why I asked the question in the first place, that are your members or ESN, are they the ones who attacked the governor's house? Because those who saw it said your members were the ones who staged the attack. For some of the information that we have when we went on the ground and the pictures that we saw of the late Ikonso commander that was killed yesterday by security operatives, they said they recovered several sophisticated weapons, including 6 AK-47 rifles, hundreds of ammunition of different calibers, and lots of charms, including bulletproof charms. How true is this?
Can you, first of all, ESN we don't use army uniform, Nigerian army uniform. That is number one. Number two, they presented 3 AK-47 with 1 magazine. How can somebody use 3 AK-47 with 1 magazine? They presented 10 bullets while we have no machine gun there. So these things, they are liars. All those informations are false. They are not saying the truth because they don't want to tell the Nigerians, the citizens, the citizens that Nigeria is almost collapsing. And the IPOB have decided that nothing will stop them to back out on this course for Biafra restoration. So other tribes can work for their own. They can say whatever they like. We are intact. IPOB and ESN, we are intact. Another commander has taken over.
What's the name of the commander?
I won't tell you.
If you say that your intentions is for the Igbo nation,
we are not talking of, first of all, mind you, we are not talking of Igbo nation, we are talking of Biafra. Biafra comprises so many tribes, not only Igbo nation. We are not talking of Igbo nation, we are talking of Biafra.
So what are your thoughts
about Eastern region, both south and southeast. We are not talking of Igbo nation.
But let me ask you, what are your thoughts on the establishment of Ebubeagụ?
Ebubeagụ is a ghost security outfit, so we have nothing to do with them. If there is no group called Ebubeagụ, that name is from out. It's a ghost group. We have not seen them. Let them come out and do the funny things. We show them where they belong.
Okay, so confirm to us, ESN is not behind the attack on governor's house.
I told you before. When you went to Omuma and interviewed people, did they tell you that those that came to attack in that very place mentioned ESN, and we are ESN, we are IPOB? You didn't answer me up till now.
They said so, yes.
The people said they are ESN.
Members of the communities. Yes, they said.
Members of the community say
yes.
ESN.
Yes, that's what they told us.
IPOB.
Yes, that's what they told us. Yes.
They lied to you. They lied to you.
They told us that's what they confided in us, that they are members of ESN.
They are lying.
So you are saying that ESN does not have a hand in it?
ESN can never come on operation and tell you we are ESN. We can't do that. We know what we are doing.
Okay. So what kind of operation does ESN do?
We pursue Fulani terrorists in our bushes and our forests.
That was a telephone interview with Iman Powerful, spokesperson of IPOB. From what is happening in the Southeast region, what is the way out? Tonight we should be speaking with a former governor and a current leader of the APC in the National Assembly, Senate Whip, Senator Orjiuzo Kalu. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, distinguished Senator, for joining us tonight. Let's begin the conversation from that telephone interview that you listened to of Ima Powerful. Let me get your view on some of the things that he said tonight.
Thank you, Sean. You know, the country has been very painfully at war with itself. It's not the question of Southeast or South-South or North-Central or somewhere. It's a question of Nigeria. We need to go back to the local government authorities where most of these insurgents are coming because of the collapse of the local government authorities and the collapse on the local government system where a lot of young men and young women used to go to work, where you have a lot of councillors who were able to, when I was governor, councillors used to give road repairs, grading of roads, building of culverts and all the rest of them. There is a need to go back to that system. I heard what he said, and people in every region have a right to protest for what they don't want, but they don't have a right to carry a gun. When I was governor, I managed the MOSOP. I also managed the one led by Chief Owazurike very, very well. So we need to get up and do a lot more with these people. We are just kidding with our armed forces. For example, our soldiers. People in Nigeria could not believe the sacrifice these soldiers go through, and they still believe that we should be putting the soldiers at war front at all times. And it's a pity that this is the first time the people of Nigeria will go to war with itself. The government have done everything right, but we have not gotten the security where it's supposed to be. It's a pity, but I think the nation is at war with itself in everywhere. When this kind of thing started was the night they kidnapped white people in Warri in 2000. And President Obasanjo called myself and James Ibori that we must look for those white people. And I said to the press that night that when these people finish with the white people, they will come after our own people, which is what is happening. It's not just Southeast. It's not about Southeast. It's not about talking to the guy you just spoke to now. It's a universal something. It's a national issue which should be administratively looked at nationally. We are at crossroads, and we must come together to see what happens to the system. The system is broken in terms of security. There are a lot of infrastructure going on in our region. There are a lot of things going on in the region. But you need to enjoy these infrastructures with security. So I think a lot more has to be done. We need to agree there is a problem. Once we agree there's a problem, we'll be able to come together as a country. It's not issue of Southeast. It's not issue of Northwest. It's not issue of South-South. It's not issue of Northeast or anywhere. It's this issue of Nigerian people. And Nigerian people need to come out quickly and address the issue of Nigerian people.
we're going to go into some specifics in a moment. I, I wanted to get your thought on when non-state actors, like the interview that you listened to, the phone interview, and the stance of IPOB, the activities of ESN. I'll take you to the Southeast region because that is where, that is your own area where your jurisdiction as a senator. Does it bother you, the kind of statement that come from non-state actors about the security of affairs in your state when suddenly the Southeast has been thrown into a theater of war?
It bothers me as a Nigerian, as somebody from the region. But this is not just from that region. It's from every region in Nigeria. So it bothers me that we have left ourselves to this level now, because in the Southeast, it is not good. The young man that you just spoke to is continually they are not involved. It's only left for security agencies to go after and know people who are doing this. Because, you see, it is not the right thing to do, to continue burning police stations, policemen who have committed no offense to die in a battle, a governor's house to go to be burned down. This is unheard. I've never had anything like this before in my life. I tried to speak to the governor this morning, and I sent him a text to tell him that I stand by him, because this is very, very barbaric. Whoever did that is very barbaric. It's not an act a country should take in. Like
the governor, Senator,
barbaric action, which...
Yeah, Senator, the governor has said that when he reacted to this, when he met the president, rather, on Friday, he said politicians are sponsoring banditry. What's your view on that kind of statement?
It could be possible, yes, because I'm not a security agent. I cannot confirm. I cannot say yes or no, but it's possible that politicians might be. It's very possible. There's nothing impossible. This is why all the politicians who are using talks, both in the election and every other thing, after the election, what did they do with those talks? These are the acts that this is a result of the past things politicians used to do. These are things that should not be done in our society. But I took you back to the local government system. The local government system we must give the local government independence. They have no independence. The local system we need to go back to send back money directly to the local government. There are rules they used to play. So that rule is what we are losing now. That is the rule we are losing between the people and ourselves, and between ourselves and the government. So I see that there's a big problem in the system. And this big problem had to be a collective problem of Nigerian people. It's not a problem of President Buhari. It's not a problem of Kalu. It's not a problem of Governor Maya. It's not a problem of Governor of Enugu State or Governor Erufai or Governor Jigawa or Governor of Lagos State. No, it's a collective Nigerian people's problem. So we must come collectively to solve this problem.
So I'll come to one matter that concerns your own role as a lawmaker and your colleagues, with 109 of you that are in the National Assembly. When federating units are reacting in the manner in which they are right now, Ibubeago in Southeast as a security outfit, Amotekun, a security outfit in the Southwest. Some governors are asking for state policing. One would think that the National Assembly, you and your colleagues, would have made urgent motions and urgent move in ensuring that what you said, that we have a broken nation, will be fixed urgently. Are you thinking in that direction, Senator?
Well, Sean, I'm surprised you are asking me this kind of question. You have been carrying in your television. You saw what we have been doing in the Senate, to be precise, under the leadership of Ahmed Lawal, the President of Senate of Nigeria. And you have seen consistently, there is no day on earth that we sat in the National Assembly without talking about security and insecurity of the nation. we have been very, very concerned. Remember, there was almost a fight out on the floor of the National Assembly between members and all the rest of them. So we are making a very good effort to amend the Constitution, which His Excellency, the Deputy Senate President, Ovio Amogaga, is the chairman, and I happen to also be in that committee. We are working round the clock to see how we can bring everything that's amendable to be amended and to set the country rolling. Mind you, we are just lawmakers. We are not in the executive. Our duty is to make the laws, and it's left for the executive to carry out and implement what we have made. So we have people like you, Sean, who have called us all kinds of names, and you know who I am. You have known me for over 20-something years. You know that wherever I stand for justice, I stand for things that must be right, things must be moving. And the National Assembly have never had unity the way we are. So we are today. So I believe we have done our best. When people were shouting, remove the service chiefs, it's not the issue of service chiefs. And the new service chief you are bringing now need between 4 to 5, 6 months to be able to know the security system, how they are. It's not an immediate thing. It's not just removing one and bringing another that solves the problem. It's going to be strategic. It's going to be professionally handled. It's going to be openly handled. You need equipment. You need to, all these things. So you look at the neighborhood of about 5 to 6 months to be able to rearrange the security architecture of Nigeria. So it's not a rocket science. It's not at all.
Senator, I asked you that question.
I also...
Yeah. So sorry, apologies to cut in. I asked you that question because what is happening in our nation today is a matter of urgency. I reeled out the statistics of just in 1 week how the number of people that have been killed, the number of people that have been kidnapped is not something that we need to leave for a long time. So when you said that you and your colleagues are working on amending the Constitution, what in that work that you're doing can guarantee, or you can tell Nigerians today that can ensure safety of lives and property when Nigerians can again be able to drive between Abuja and Kaduna without fear of being kidnapped or maimed?
Yes, Sean, I understand what you asked me. I didn't misunderstand you. No, I quietly I heard what you said, and I'm to be honest with you, our amending a constitution is not a very easy job. It's very rigorous. It's going to take many processes. And those processes, if you don't do it, you are not going to amend the constitution. We have to do public hearing, both in Abuja and all the zones. And our duty is to make the law. Our duty is not to implement the laws we have made. We can only suggest to executives or to the other part of the government. There are 3 arms of government, I'm sure you know. And in those 3 arms, our duty is to make the law. And we're making the law. We're doing everything possible. We can. Sometimes I don't leave the National Assembly till 11 p.m. When I wasn't in the National Assembly, I never believed the load of the work inside the place. So we're doing everything possible to make sure that we'll get the right frame of amendment that will suit Nigerian people. So
when Senator, we are due for a break, though. Yeah, sorry, we are due for a break. But I read an opinion piece, and I thought, when I started getting comment on that opinion piece, I started getting some different meanings of how Nigerians are feeling about the security situation. The opinion piece of the writer said that the National Assembly members who are being paid to make laws, that because of this situation, they are supposed to have locked themselves up in the National Assembly until a solution is found. They're not supposed to go on a recess. That's the opinion of that person. But we go on a break. When we come back, I will get your view on the way to go and the manner in which the National Assembly, you and your colleagues, will fix some of these issues for us. Up next, but the situation in the Southeast region is worrisome. What is the solution? We'll find out after this time out. Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome back to the program. Let's get back to a conversation with the former Abia State Governor and the Senate Whip, Senator Orjiuzo Kalu, who is in our Abuja studio. Thank you, distinguished Senator, for your time tonight. I was just making an inference to the opinion piece that I read of someone who feel lawmakers should lock themselves up and come up with an urgent stand on how to fix. It shouldn't take weeks. It should be a matter of days. In fact, he was suggesting that it should not go on recess. But in the process of this conversation, you were saying that we should come together. The question is, how do we come together to deal with these situation and these issues? And when we do come together, what do we do when we come together?
Well, the issue is not completely on the lawmakers' show. The issue, locking ourselves up to make a new law, there are a lot of motions and counter motions that went on for the past 1 year on the floor of the two houses. But constitutional amendment is not key to what is happening today. What is key is that Nigerian people have not believed in their own country. Nigerian people need to believe in their own country. Nigerians should start knowing that this country does not belong to President Buhari. It's not even belonging to me. It's not belonging to Chief of Army Staff. It's not belonging to Ahmed Lawal, the Senate President. It's not belonging to the Vice President. It's our country. And if it's our country, all of us must work out a peaceful way how we'll be able to put it running. So it's not just issue. I think if somebody's wife died, they say it's the lawmakers. If anything, they say it's the lawmakers. The lawmakers I'm inside the house. This is not when I was not inside. And now I'm inside. I have been seeing what lawmakers go through because we have put in all kinds of motions on insecurity. It's not a constitutional amendment. There's nothing wrong with the Constitution. There are a lot of things wrong with our people. Our people need to go back to the drawing board and purge ourselves for us to speak the truth, for us to center the truth, for us to re-engineer our communities. This problem is communal problem. It's based on community. The fabrics that host the communities have been eaten up by ants. And if it's eaten up by ants, go cross-check what I've been telling you. This issue is issue of local government councils. Since the local government councils are no longer independent, they need to be independent. They need to be on their own. They need to run. I want to ask you, look at something like Lagos State. Lagos State are leaving their local authorities to handle what they're supposed to handle. If you allow the local authorities a little bit to handle what they're supposed to handle, you will go far. Look at another state, it's River State, where Governor Wike allows the local authorities to handle what they're supposed to handle. You will not hear much of problems coming up from there. The governors, I'm not indicting anybody. I'm not saying it's because they didn't allow local system. The local authorities had to be overhauled, Sean. It's not in the hands of
when
legislators.
You've raised that, but the question I asked about when you said we need to come together. So that coming together connotes or means a lot of things. So the question is, how do you, in your experience as a former governor, as a senator, how do we come together as a people with the intention of solving this problem? And when we come together, what do we do then?
First of all, we need to look at the background of what is happening as a country. We need to see where we have told ourselves the truth or lies. We need to realize that every community have its own way of doing things. The way you do things, the way it will handle in Sokoto is not the way it's going to be handled in Abia. The way it's handled in Rivers is not the way it's going to handle in Kaduna by Governor Erufai. So we need to come back and ask ourselves, where did the rain start beating us? It's an issue of security. Security is not what I'll come up here to discuss with you. There need to be a discussion between that level of people.
So is it another national conference that you're asking for? Is there another national conference you're asking for?
No. The National Assembly is there. We have done a lot of national conference. We need to discuss. In any discussion we have done, they will get it to National Assembly to move it forward. This is what I'm saying. There need to be a discussion between the leaders of the area, the former generals, former governors, the president and the vice president, and there must be a discussion on what is really the cause of all these things. How are we going to stop it? Where are we going to do this? This is not the first time these things are happening. It happened before when I was governor, and we had a discussion. And we went back and implemented the discussion. So there must be a discussion. Nigerians are taking Nigerians for granted, and most things are taken for granted in Nigeria. We need to
Senator, let's drill down on some issues. Let me go to Kaduna, for example, and it's very instructive what is happening. Just yesterday, Professor Wole Soyinka is telling President Buhari to seek help in solving this insecurity problem. 2 or 3 days ago, 3 of the students that were abducted in the private university in Kaduna State were found dead. And in Kaduna State, we've seen loads and loads of kidnappings and these attacks by bandits. And so if Professor Wole Soyinka in his view says the president needs help, are things overwhelming for this government to handle?
No. I have just told you we did a discussion. Professor Wole Soyinka is an erudite professor. He is putting it in the way he wants to put it to you. And I'm putting it to you tonight that we need a discussion. And that is what I have said. Discussion means we can look for help. It's that discussion that will provide what we are going to do. This is a very serious matter, Sean. It's not just a matter that people toss around. It's not politics. It's not going to be politics. This is our country. Everybody's stake is at stake now.
So, Senator, apologies again to cut in. So Nigerians can understand, so that they can understand what you are saying. Who is going to bring us together? Who is going to call this meeting? Is it the president or the National Assembly? And when do you think this should happen?
This meeting supposed to be called by President Commander-in-Chief. And the earlier this meeting holds, the most traditional rulers, selected traditional rulers have to be there. Former Army generals, former Air Force generals, former Inspector Generals of Police, former DSS, retired people and active people. And this discussion needs to go on. We need the help. I've said it before, because it's looking like a sabotage on President Buhari's government. That every day people are breaking up everything. I've told you this in your show before when you talked to me. I said the whole affairs look like a sabotage, to sabotage Nigerian institution. And it's not going to happen because Nigeria is our country. We must come together and discuss. And the extract of this discussion will be passed to National Assembly. And now we are doing constitutional amendment. This is the best time for that discussion. So that if there are areas the people are not happy, we will amend the constitution immediately. You are just talking to me like if National Assembly is all and all, we can do anything without referring back to our constituency or to people that have voted us to come to the National Assembly. It's not going to be possible to just wake up overnight and do things you are asking me we should do. Because people think, anyway, before I came to National Assembly, I've always seen National Assembly as the weeping baby of the nation. So I'm not surprised because I'm inside there now. It's not as easy as you said, Sean. So the discussion had to be routed by the president. And the president is Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces. So that he can be able to do this discussion regionally, then they come and set up what they want. Every region will say what they want.
All right. So, Senator,
happens,
before I allow you,
to have peace.
All right. Before we allow you to go, Senator, there are 2 questions, and I'd like you to quickly tell us your view on Ebubago. You have been a governor. how would you, or what advice do you have for the governors and the leaders in the region on how this can help solve the present problem? Because the problem in the Southeast is different from the problems of the Northeast.
No, when I was governor, I never went for, yes, it's good for governors to come together and share ideas. But if we're a federation, we're not supposed to, which goes back to say people who need amendment of constitution to give more autonomy to regions and all the rest of them. When I was governor, I fought that kind of insurgents because it came, we saw it. Orjiuzo is alive. He can talk to you. You can put him on the TV. He will tell you. We reach a lot of common grounds. So for me, I have not gotten the details of Ebubago, but I want to thank the Southeast governors. In the last few weeks, they have met twice, and this is a full house. It's always good. This is the second time I'm seeing all the governors coming together as one voice. Nobody sent his deputy. Before, Omahia will be there alone with possibly Enugu and other deputies. But now, the one they had about 10 days ago, I saw the 5 governors. Today, 5 governors. So it makes sense. It makes common sense. So they should come back and find out. I don't know anything. I can't even, if left for me, I can't even support regional organizations like Moteke, Ebubago, and all the rest of them. They are not helpful to the country, and I say it clearly. I don't think they are. We have Nigerian police, we have Nigerian army, we have Air Force, we have the Navy, we have everybody. It's good to appreciate what we have. People are not appreciating the Nigerian armed forces because it takes a lot to wear a uniform.
All right.
So, on anybody.
So, Senator, we need to
have our armed forces.
So before you go, Senator, there is a prophecy from a popular clergy who also spoke about the 2019, he predicted the 2019 elections, and it does look like the outcome of the 2019 elections went exactly the way he said things were going to go. And from the wording of the prophecy that he recently gave, and it was talking about what will happen after President Buhari leaves office. And the person who is going to be the president or take over from President Buhari, in all of those descriptions, it fits your person. Do you have such ambition to become president in 2023?
No, because I have never thought of going to run for president. I've always told my immediate family that I'm going to go back to Abia North Senatorial District. You know, I'm a Catholic. I can't tell you I don't believe in prophecy. I have argued with many prophets, even the one that said I will go to prison and come out in 6 months. I disagree with him. So I disagree with Pastor Chris Oyakilome when he told me I was going to go to prison. I disagree with many other pastors. I disagree with a lot of pastors. I can't start calling their names here. So I'm a Catholic. In Catholic Church, we don't see vision. Well, if visions are being seen and people say this and that, if it's the will of God that I will be president, why not? I'm very capable mentally and otherwise to do whatever Nigerian people will ask me to do, but not through prophecy.
You're one of those who have spoken about where the presidency should go in 2023. You still hold the view that the Igbo nation or the Igbo presidency should happen in 2023?
Yes, I've told you in my formal interview with you that there are only 2 regions that have never been president of Nigeria, the Northeast and the Southeast. And that it will be nice if it's going south for Southeast to start it off. So this is what I've told you, because it's always been there to say the truth. And the earlier Nigerian people start addressing their problems locally, the better for the country. These issues are issues that we can appreciate one another, appreciate the country. This country is such a beautiful country that we need to be appreciated. You know, I'm an investor. I've invested in almost 36 states of Nigeria. So I would not want anything to happen to this nation, not because of my investment, but because of love we have for one another, and because of marriages and all the rest of them, because of attitudes of the people. So I believe if Nigerians and Nigerian people really want to be fair, an Igbo from a Southeast president from Igbo extraction will be the next thing to do. It must not be me. I'm not having that kind of ambition. But if I'm given, why not? I can take it.
All right. Thank you so much, Senator Orjiuzo Kalu, former governor of Abia State and Senate Whip. Thank you for your time tonight on the program.
Thank you for trying to deal with the National Assembly as usual. They have become your pounding baby. Anywhere you see the National Assembly, you journalists continue pounding them.
No, we are not pounding them. It's just they say that to whom much is given, much is expected. They are the representative and the voice of the people.
No, our job is to make law, not to implement the law. If you want to extend the constitution for
the laws
to
frame
law, you give it to us.
And help our society. And that's why we voted and we put some of you there to work for Nigerians. Thank you so much, Senator. Appreciate it. Well, let's now switch gears now and talk about some specifics. We want to hear from a professional security expert on the way to go. So not only in the Southeast, what happened in Gaidam, a community in Yobe State, after a suspected Boko Haram insurgents attacked the town over the weekend. Locals told Channel Television that the insurgents stayed in the community through the night, engaged in a gun battle with military personnel, which continued up until the morning. Heavy-duty machines for road construction, a firefighting vehicle, and some telecommunication facilities were also burnt by the insurgents before they left. Where a statement by the Nigerian Army said, 21 of the insurgents were killed in the encounter. A gun truck with an anti-aircraft gun mounted on it, as well as 8 AK-47 rifles were among the weapons recovered from the insurgents. 3 soldiers also said to have sustained injuries but are in stable condition. Let's speak with a security consultant. Mr. Kabiru Adamu joins us from Abuja. Thank you so much, Mr. Adamu, for joining us tonight. It's critical for us to have this conversation, Mr. Adamu, and I want you to help us. When you heard that Boko Haram hoisting their flag in Gaidam, this was something that we heard some years back. How does that come to you?
Thank you, Shehu. Good evening. The news, like every other breakdown in security across the country, is a very disheartening news, especially given the successes that have been achieved in the last few months and years by especially the Operation Lafiya Duli, to now wake up in a state like Yobe, where we have enjoyed relative peace, except for occasional incursions by either the Islamic State in West Africa province or the Jamaat al-Ahli Sunnah lil-Dawat wal-Jihad. Now, to have them overrun a major town like Gaidam, and not only overrun the town, hold presence in the town to the extent that they would hoist flag, is no doubt a major setback, and one that requires significant analysis and review by the Nigerian military to understand how that happened, and then to take necessary steps to prevent that from reoccurring. Now, one of the major hallmarks of the attack in Gaidam is that there was ample information suggesting they were converging. There was ample information suggesting they were going to attack a location where they converged. There was ample time, perhaps, for the Air Force to use kinetic force to prevent that attack. But the moment they enter the town, it becomes very, very difficult because they've intermingled with residents. And so the options left to the military are limited. And whatever options are taken, the likelihood of collateral damage increases as against if they were out. So those were the kind of things that I saw and that I monitored, and that made me quite uncomfortable, unfortunately. On the other hand, there are suggestions that are indicating the rainy seasons are about to start in the northeast. So it appears that what we are seeing is this cycle of an increase in attack by the non-state actors just before the rainy season. But irrespective of what the reasons are, the fact that they found vulnerabilities and exploited those vulnerabilities to achieve what they achieved is quite unfortunate.
At the time that efforts are being made to rebuild some of the infrastructure that these insurgents have broken down and destroyed, we understand that they destroyed some telecommunication infrastructure there, and we understand that they were also going from home to home trying to preach to people in their own ideologies. In this kind of situation, how do you hope that the military should react to this kind of resurgence how do I describe it? You describe it that in Yobe, we've seen some peace in the past few years, and we understand now that there is calm in Gaidam. But how do you think that the military should react to this?
What the average Nigerian needs is reassurance. And associated with that reassurance is protection. And then if you expand it further, security. Now, should we as a country put that burden on the military alone? My direct answer to that is no. We've got a national counterterrorism strategy. When the new service chiefs were appointed, I made bold to say that our focus should be redirected. They are part of the national counterterrorism strategy. They don't own that counterterrorism strategy. That counterterrorism strategy belongs to the entire security architecture. So in direct response to your question, an evaluation needs to be conducted, not just by the military, but by the drivers of our national security strategy. And to that extent, the coordinating elements within the national security architecture, the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Interior, the Minister of Police Affairs, and to an extent, the presidency. Now, these 5 key bodies, coordinating bodies, would need to reevaluate the implementation of that national counterterrorism strategy. I am of the opinion that we have put too much emphasis on the role of the military in the implementation of that document. Security is implemented in concentric cycles. In the case of Gaidam, as an example, if we had these 3 concentric cycles in the basic minimum, by the time the first concentric cycle is circumvented, the second cycle would have blocked that incursion. But because we were not implementing these concentric cycles, these bad guys are able to move freely. And then just today, there was an attack in Minok. In fact, by the time the details of the attack in Minok become public, it would really belittle what happened in Gaidam, unfortunately. So again, my point is that this is not just for the military, it's for the entire national security architecture. And these coordinating bodies that I mentioned would need to evaluate the implementation of the national counterterrorism strategy, find out why is it that the other elements within the national counterterrorism strategy are not playing their role. Why are we leaving everything to the military? The military is stretched. The other elements too need to come in and play their role. The weapons coming into the country are not coming in. It's not the role of the military to stop that from coming in. The other agencies that have their responsibility should wake up. And if that evaluation is done, then of course accountability will follow. We need to see more accountability. Those that have dropped the ball should be held responsible.
I need 2 interventions from you before we close the program. So the first one is the Kaduna situation. It broke my heart when I learned that 3 of those students from that private universities were found dead. How can we break this cycle of kidnapping in Kaduna State?
The kidnapping economy or the value chain that has arisen as a result of kidnapping, unfortunately, is not something that can be done by a state government. It's a national issue that would need to be broken. And having said that, at the root of all of this is ransom. So if we're able to reduce the ability of these bad guys to collect and use the ransom, then we would have removed the incentive for kidnapping. Currently, we're not doing much in that regard. And I can tell you that in the field of security risk management, there are a lot of tools that we can use, not only to reduce the possibility of the collection of the ransom, but even after they collect, we can follow them, arrest them, anyone who has contact with that ransom, and then prosecute him. The second element is the ungoverned spaces. You've discussed this extensively in your program, and I cannot overemphasize that point. Currently, we are not doing much to dominate those ungoverned spaces and prevent their usage by these bad guys. And then lastly, intelligence. We need to, especially the security agencies, they need to enhance their capacity to collect and to use the intelligence. And how do they do that? It's by improving on the current trust deficit between them and the residents of those locations. And the only way to do that, frankly, is to enhance governance.
So schools were the target, but the attack in Chikun local government area were worshippers at the Aske Baptist Church, and the issue of the medical practitioner that were also affected in these attacks. So what comes to your mind when you heard about these very attack at the worship center?
It is nothing but bestial. It's senseless. You can't use logic really to explain all of this. These are a group of non-state actors who are challenging the authority of the state, and anywhere they have the capacity to challenge that authority, they are doing that. Now, recently I concluded on a research on the number of small arms and light weapons that are available in the country, and showing is alarming. My research showed that we've got, in the most conservative estimate, 6.5 billion small arms and light weapons in circulation in the country. Now, of that 6.5, 586,000 belong to the law enforcement agencies. All the others are in the hands of non-state actors. And now you can now understand why they have the confidence to challenge our law enforcement agencies, because they've got more weapons really in their possession. Now, is the answer to increase the weapons repository of our security agencies? No, that's not the answer, because unfortunately, even the integrity of the armory of our security agencies need to be enhanced upon. So all of these things require a very holistic approach, and I'm very happy that.
Yeah, so I'd like you to end just in 30 seconds on this point. In Rivers State, there was an attack on a military checkpoint. In Southeast, the attack has been mostly on police, military formation and police station. What is the psychology behind the minds of these attackers on these security formations?
In simple terms, to break down the security architecture in the Southeast, prelude to the launching of whatever game plan they have. And are they succeeding in that? As of today, I have documented in my consultancy 50 of such attacks, and in all of those attacks, they've been successful, except for one or two, where the security agencies repelled the attack. And every time they were successful, they stole weapons from either the security personnel or from their weaponry. So this is prelude to a bigger plan.
All right. Mr. Kabiru Adamu, security consultant, thank you so much tonight for your intervention and some of the thoughts you've given. Perhaps our viewers have some understanding of what is happening and how we can get out of this nightmare. Thank you so much indeed for watching, everyone.
Thank you, Shehu, for having me, and stay safe.
Thank you. That's our show for today.